democracy.
Well, I think that's what we're all trying to do in our own ways. Jonathan, do you want to take that question? I think this will be our last comment because we're ready for rock and roll with the next session.
Defence of free speech is something that must never stop. And for all journalists, it's interesting. It's the one thing that I, as a journalist, am allowed to be partial about. I'm not impartial about freedom of speech. It's the very lifeblood of my business, my job. But it's more than that. You know, it is the only way you can have a civil society. It can get out of hand, free speech, and it can be very rowdy. But without it, you don't have consensual government. Governments are not held to account. And I think in this region, there are multiple challenges to freedom of speech, which are enormously difficult. You just don't have freedom of speech here that you have in Europe and the United States, where there are actually quite serious issues anyway. I mean, one of the points that Francesca raised, but I think is terribly important here in Thailand, and I know we've got a lot of members of the, from the corporate sector here, is the use of criminal defamation. It's a law that doesn't get a lot of publicity, but it's used here in Thailand, in effect, to suppress free speech. Because the way the law works, any journalist who says anything specific about anyone who's got the determination, resources to take it up legally, will end up with a criminal charge. They'll end up being a criminal defendant. It always goes to court, and they'll end up with their lives being turned upside down. This is happening multiple times to the same people who are trying to raise issues. And it's particularly in the corporate world. In Thailand, I'd say it's pretty much true that you can't say anything negative about any big company. And truth is not a defense. Even if it's true, you have to prove in court in Thailand that you had a public interest in saying it, and there's no guarantee, even if you can prove that the judge will be on your side. The weaponization of the judiciary in this region is probably the greatest threat to free speech, greater than all the problems with social media and fake news and other regulations.
Well, on that depressing but fascinating note, I'd like to thank my panelists, Francesca, Jonathan, and Mimi, for joining us, and to thank you very much for your attention over breakfast, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day.
Good morning. My name is Kevin Rodriguez. I am the chairman of the Economic Development Authority for the U.S. Virgin Islands. I bring greetings from our Honorable Governor Albert Bryan and our U.S. Virgin Islands. I would like to first thank Ms. Irene Natividad, President of the Global Summit of Women and Thai Host Committee Chairwoman, and team members, Ms. Karan. This year, Global Summit Women continues to be inspiring and empowering. The U.S. Virgin Islands delegation is comprised of the First Lady, Ms. Yolanda Bryan, who is also our business ambassador. Please stand, Ms. Bryan. Mr. Wayne Biggs, our CEO of Economic Development Authority. Alani Hanneman Tadman, Assistant Commissioner of the Virgin Islands Division of Tourism. Nelia Ross, Deputy Commissioner of the Division of Tourism. And Winnie Testamag, Director of the Bureau of Corrections. So we have a woman leading our prison system in the Virgin Islands. Last year, I had the opportunity to attend the Global Summit of Women in Lisbon, Portugal, and was impressed by the topic discussed and the fellowship of the influential women across the globe. The experience was beyond words and has inspired me to want to do more as a male. This year, the Virgin Islands is proud to be a proud sponsor of this breakfast session. I stand this morning proud to support the Thai entrepreneur women by wearing this handmade Pachai Na. I am here today to say that the Virgin Islands is open for business. The U.S. Virgin Islands Economic Development Commission offers a unique tax incentive program for companies wishing to relocate to the U.S. Virgin Islands. The U.S. government sanctioned this competitive tax benefit program through an act of Congress under the Internal Revenue Code. In order to qualify for tax benefits in the U.S. Virgin Islands, these are the benefits and the advantages. 90% reduction in corporate income tax, unheard of. 90% of personal income tax, unheard of. 100% exemption on excise taxes, and 100% exemption on property and gross receipt taxes. To be eligible to receive these benefits, you generally fall within several categories: agriculture, manufacturing, and business services. However, the Economic Development Commission has the authority to grant benefits to any business that will advance the economic well-being of the U.S. Virgin Islands. I want to state that 3 women were early trailblazers for women and its citizens. They forged a road to the Virgin Islands where women have freedom, equality, and power. However, there is more work to be done throughout the world, which is why, as a people, we must look back to gain inspiration and look forward, as Kabka stated, with our new chapter, as women create opportunities in the new reality. The Virgin Islands is hopeful that one day we will host the Global Summit of Women. At this summit, we will display our rich culture, delicious foods, music, and warm hospitality. I thank you, and do enjoy the rest of this summit.
Thank you, Kevin. With all those benefits, anyone interested here in doing business in the U.S. Virgin Islands, go do it. I want to thank Angela Mackay, who led us through a very interesting conversation. It's one that I'm personally interested in, as well as I'm sure most of you. She has become a standard feature of the summit because she asks the right questions. So thank you. We will miss you if you ever miss the summit. So this morning, I have the privilege of conducting a conversation with these incredible women. Is Diane Cislerina here? We need one more chair. Larry? As she's making her way up, my apologies, Diane. I guess they forgot that there are 5 of you. There's so many incredible women CEOs that it's always so difficult to make a selection. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have a conversation. I don't care what chair it is. Thank you, Kevin. We always need very helpful men. So what I'm going to do is to introduce each one of them so you can get to know a little bit about them. Because as I always say, nobody is born a CEO. They came from somewhere, somewhere in the beginnings of their, countries. So I'm going to begin on my right with Katya Katya Indaravijaya.
Yes, thank you.
Katya, beautiful Katya, is the CEO of Kasikorn Bank. You know those gifts that you received at the airport? Okay? Do you remember the gifts when you arrived? They were courtesy of Kasikorn Bank. Katya, yes, thank you. And many other things. Katya is the first woman to be CEO of this major bank, and probably one of the few in South Asia region to be first female CEO. But she's been doing this for a very long time. So Katya, let me start with you. Was being a banker in your early childhood your dream? Or what did you do? What did you decide to do when you were in school?
On the bachelor degree, I take marketing as my major. So I dream of be the advertising agency or something in the media, But my dad, say like, why don't you work for this K Bank? So I've been with the bank for like 35 years. Yeah, but been rotating, like 10 jobs, as a relationship manager, investment banking, credit policy, marketing, retail banking, and some data analytics projects. So like 10 different kind of jobs been rotating there. So he said like, let's work for the bank for 1 year or 2 years, and then, you get MBA in the US. I graduated from Texas, Austin, University of Texas at Austin. And then, I got a scholarship from the bank. So that's why I'm staying with the bank for, this long. And the bank gave me the opportunity, a lot of opportunity to try new things.
So was your father the major influence in your career decisions? Are you an only child?
No, I'm a big sister with another 3 brothers.
Oh, so you're the eldest sister and 3 brothers.
Yes, yes.
And have they done as well as you?
Yes, yes. My younger brothers, he's a deputy of the government pension fund. So we follow that step. My dad is the dean of the Thammasat University Business School, but he said, no, don't go to this school, go to the other one. So to go to the competing university, because I think he's afraid of the governance, when he's a dean and I'm the student, right. So it's hard to control. So he said, go, the other.
Go try the other one. Yeah. And your mother, what did she want you to do?
She's a lovely mom, and she's a government officer. So but my